Already.
Okie dokie. We are live. If anybody in the chat, please let me know if y'all can hear us. We are about to go live. We are live, matter of fact. So anyway, man, this is the Jab Session, episode 63. And with no further ado, I got my man Barzini in the house in the trap house with me today. And I got my man Charlotte Mark in the trap house today. We're gonna be cooking up fight week, Porter versus Bud. You know what I mean? Y'all already know how we do it. And we're gonna talk some boxing today, man. So everybody, y'all just post your little comments in there, and we're gonna go back and forth from the chat, and we're gonna cook. So first of all, man, what do y'all want to hit it off with? Who we gonna talk about first, man? I know we had a nice little, well, we had a little decent little, okay, little get you by weekend of boxing. If you want to say it, I don't know what level you want to put it on, but it was something to get us by. We had Benavidez versus Kyron Davis, and we had Rosario versus uh damn Hami McGear. And but what do y'all want to start off first, man? Y'all let me know.
We can start out with.
Somebody. Hey, hold up. Matter of
uh
fact, uh, it's some little noise in the background. Somebody mute your mic real quick. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. So, matter of fact, I'm gonna let one of y'all just go ahead and whoever want to kick it off. Bars. Matter of fact, I'll let you go ahead and kick it off, Bars, and then I'll let you start next, Mark. But we can go ahead and kick it off, man, and cook on what you want to talk about first, and we'll go from there.
So I can start. I just want to salute Kyron Davis for giving us a good performance. You know what I mean? Um, I enjoyed the fight. I really enjoyed the fight with David Benavidez. David is my favorite super middleweight. So I wasn't looking forward to this fight because I know Kyron Davis is a 154 fighter. He's fought some fights at 160, and he fought like 3 fights this year um, at 168, and he fought, I think, yeah, 168 with a Durrell and 170 in a catchweight in his last fight, and this 168 in this fight. So he had 3 fights. He basically stay as super middleweight. I want to salute him for being the most active fighter on PBC of this year. You know what I mean? Because ain't nobody fighting like that in today's boxing besides Canelo. So I want to salute Kyron for keeping it active. He showed that he's a warrior. He showed he has heart. He showed he let his nuts hang. And that's all we want in boxing. But I can't give David Benavidez credit for this win. And the only reason why, like, again, he's a 154 fighter, a guy who fought at 160. You know what I mean? He's a little guy to David. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'll have to respect what Kyron did. You know what I mean? He was going out with a bang. Like, I gotta get it. It's now or never for me. So, you know what I mean? So I gotta salute him on that. And I'm gonna salute him for giving us not quitting in the fight. He could have quit that. He could have quit. He could have backed down on the fight. He showed heart, nothing but heart in that fight. You know what I mean? And that's all. That's all we can do is respect that in boxing. But moving on, um, with the David Benavidez, people talking about David Benavidez and Canelo, and I don't think David Benavidez is ready. I think he hit in his mind and him saying he's ready for the fight, but I think he needs better opponents. I think to show, like, I don't want Canelo beat him and then we give him all this credit for beating David Benavidez. Because if you look at his resume, we're going to say he was young, he wasn't ready. We're going to have all the excuses in the book. He don't got no good defense. He was tailor-made for Canelo. I really don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? My favorite fight at super middleweight at the time until before last week. No, well, not last week, 2 weeks ago, was David Benavidez versus Kayla Plant. I think we've been looking forward to that fight for 3 years and we didn't get it. PBC didn't deliver. You know what I'm saying? And we still didn't get the fight. You know what I mean? Now Kayla Plant is going to go with one loss. And if he gets the David Benavidez fight, he going in there with not as confident as he once was while he was undefeated. But I want to see that fight. I want to see David and Caleb Plant, but I don't know if we're gonna ever get it. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like Canelo is gonna just win that David Benavidez fight. I feel like it's gonna be a war, but Canelo gonna break him down, and it's gonna be a war as long as it lasts. But Canelo's gonna win, and that's the bottom line. I want to see somebody who gonna give Canelo a fucking real challenge. You know what I'm saying? He not gonna back down. Yeah, David ain't gonna back down, but I want to see him more proven, and that's what I got for that.
All right, Charlotte Birthmark, man, what you got, man? What you got on that, bro? Go ahead and
Well,
cook.
I think that David Benavidez, just like he said, is very green still. But I was watching some other fights with David Benavidez. The one that versus Ronald Gavril, where he had to do a rematch because that was the fight that he got knocked down at the last round. Remember
By
that one?
jab,
Yeah.
by jab. He got dropped by jab.
Because he usually gets squared up. So if you catch him squared up, usually you can do that to him. Another thing that I noticed that not only did Gavril as well as Davis shown is that he cannot deal with someone who pushes him back, who plays the rough game with pushing him back and staying in his chest. And that's what Canelo would do. And when you get close to him, he loves to go to the body. When he goes to the body, he has an advertisement to it, which most likely would get countered by Canelo. But I cannot give Canelo credit for defeating Benavidez without doing it. He has to do it. And Benavidez, he pretty much earned that spot, but the WBC is saying that Canelo's 160 franchise status goes with him all the way to 168. I don't know how that happened. So that
Who
means
said
that
that?
Maurice Suleiman, that was
Yeah,
on ES News.
yeah. Well, you
Mhm.
already know. Sulan gonna make sure Canelo keep his status wherever he go. He can go back
Mhm.
to the Olympics in the amateurs. He gonna keep his status and come back. But yeah,
So I
I
think they're
pretty
gonna
much
avoid that fight.
what Benavidez.
Yeah.
I don't know why though.
I think they're gonna try to get Charlo to come up. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, I'm hearing
And
that I'm oh, go ahead.
it's unfortunate, but you know how he does it. You know how he
Yeah.
does it. He likes those disadvantages.
Well, let me salute to everybody in chat. Heavy Lefty, what's good with you, fam? He said trap is back on location. Salute to you and your co-host, no doubt, bro. Salute to you too. He said that's exactly why David needs to stay away from Canelo right now. Currently, he's a T-bone steak for a few top guys with that defensive liability. Absolutely. Well, let me chime in on David real quick, and we're gonna go ahead and go to something else. But I like David. Got a lot of love for Benavidez, man. But I'm in agreement with all of y'all brothers, man, on this panel. I don't think that he want no parts of Canelo Saul Canelo Alvarez right now, man. I just think that Canelo is just too much on another level. I think Canelo rinses everybody right now, to be honest with you. I would like to see Canelo versus Benavidez, but I still think Canelo will be Benavidez at the end of the day as well, too. Oh yeah, I hear that Canelo is supposed to be allegedly. This is allegedly might be having Charlo next on the menu. So if so, that'd be great. You know what I mean? Get Charlo and Canelo. I would love to see what Charlo's excuse would be not to take the fight this time. You know what I mean? See what he gonna say then. If he gonna be more of a cheerleader or he gonna be ready to go to war with Canelo because he don't seem like he want no smoke with Canelo in reality. It seems like the fans really want him to get that shot more than he do. To be
But would
honest
he
with you,
draw him up to 168?
will he? If this nigga really
Yeah.
want that shot, he gonna have to.
See,
I
that's
mean,
gonna
what
hurt
you?
Charlo bad.
It don't matter. What else he gonna do? He ain't doing nothing at 160. What he doing at 160?
Exactly. Nothing.
Yeah, well, exactly. He just sitting around and twiddling his thumbs, still waiting on Canelo at 160. So he might as well go ahead and move up and fight Canelo at 168. He ain't gonna accomplish shit at 160, bro. You gotta wait till Triple G to move around and all that to get some fights, bro. I mean, how long is he gonna wait around for all that?
I don't know. He probably waiting for that Murata and Triple G
Triple G gonna
fight.
hold on. Triple G gonna hold on to that nugget until somebody dethrone him, bro. And
He has that.
and the only way Triple G is planning on getting hold up. The only way he planning on getting dethroned is if he let Canelo get it. He'll let Canelo get it.
Yeah, he would.
But what you about to say real quick before we go to something else?
Do you think Triple G would be able to get past Murata, or do you think old man age will
I
catch
haven't
up?
really watched too much. I haven't really watched too much of Miranda, bro. So I don't know. To be honest with you, I have to watch Miranda. I don't got too many faith in. I don't know, bro. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm just gonna leave it where I'm gonna leave it at. I don't know. What you think about D Nice? What's good with your salute? What you think about Murata versus Triple G real quick? You think he can get past him? Bars, just yes or no?
Who? Triple J and Murata? Oh, that's gonna be night
Yeah.
for. That's gonna be an easy night for Triple G, man.
Triple.
The reason why I say
Oh, okay.
that because even though like I saw like Endom beat him in Japan. And dude,
Yeah.
like it was a robbery. How did he rob you in your own home country? Ain't nobody knew no
Yeah.
fucking Endom and shit. See, come on, man. And then he got knocked out by Rob Bryant. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Let's move on, bro.
You know what I'm
Triple G
saying?
finna kill. Hey, all
Triple G
right,
gonna
man.
fight.
Look. What else? Hey, let's get to this. Let's get to this to the juice, man. Let's talk about Charlo. Uh, about this Benavidez smoke and what Charlo had to say with reference to he got Sean Porter and all this other stuff. Let's get to that because it's time to get juicy. We ain't got all day to smack around with no goddamn Murata or Triple G because they ain't talking about shit anyway. So yeah, man. First of all, let's get to I Smell Pussy with Charlo and Benavidez talking about Charlo. Talking about he smell that wet. Huh? What you Mark, what you think about Charlo, Benavidez telling Charlo I smell that wet on you.
Benavidez is trying to bait him to come up bad to fight him instead of fight Canelo. It's obvious somewhere they have to begin
That's
to
what it
kind
is.
of, hearsay or something like that. They're hearing something that Charlo may be next. You know what I mean? So Benavidez wants to knock off Charlo before he could get to him. He's looking at Canelo trying to run to Benavidez, and he's trying to run to Charlo. So these are his two major ones he's calling out.
Yeah, but what's the name? Ben want to fight Charlo. He said Charlo scared of him.
He did. He did.
He said Charlo scared of him.
I don't
He
think
said,
Charlo would. I don't think Charlo would fight him.
hey, why Charlo don't be? Hey, why Charlo don't be having that same energy towards Benavidez when Benavidez put that pressure on him like that? Why he ain't got all that jibber jabber to say then? He sure get quiet.
He
He
get
he, he
quiet.
got he got minimum to nothing to say when it come down to motherfucking Benavidez getting on his neck.
Hmm.
Why he don't keep that same energy like that, boy?
You know what's so funny? People keep I see like brothers saying like where this Benavidez and Jamal Charlo started. It came out of Jamal Charlo mouth in 2018. Like you could go right now on YouTube where fucking Jamal said, "Yo, I'll fucking move up to fight David Benavidez and get the WBC title." He been calling him out from 2018. And that's what people don't realize. He kept doing it. Every time David fought, this soon as David won the WBC belt from Graville, that's when Jamal started saying his name. Then he saw the rematch, call his name. Then he saw the Anthony Durrell fight. Then he called him out again. He kept saying his name. And the Benavidez, he's like, I'll welcome the fight. You know what I mean? He wasn't passionate about fighting Jamal at the time. He's just like, I'll welcome the fight. If we can fight, you know what I mean? It don't matter. Because he knew he was a 160 fighter. He was the WBC champion. So why you keep calling me out? You keep saying my name. And then now, like, Benavidez is like, he don't got no belt. He don't got no opportunity. It's like, yo, I just want smoke. Like, I need to get back on the top prime time. Like, you know what I'm saying? And Jamal just have an excuse. Oh, he need to get vaccinated. Oh, I ain't fighting nobody under 25. I ain't fighting no little boy. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of excuses, man. And that's the coward shit, man. And we talk about Charlos, we talking all this, man. That like they got the biggest cojones in boxing, but they really don't. Cause when niggas really want that smoke, they ghosts. You know what I'm saying? They fucking ghosts. So
I
my thing,
see everybody upset with them Charlos right now. Ain't they? Everybody pissed with the Charlos, huh?
the thing is, I'm not even gonna talk about what they do besides the fuckery they do. I'm gonna talk about what they do when it comes to boxing, putting them hands up. You know what I'm saying? And throwing them hands. They don't want to smoke with David. That is a bad stylistic matchup for Jamal. For real. He want to be an aggressor. He ain't gonna win.
David will beat Jamal up, bro.
Nah.
David will beat Jamal up, bro.
Yeah, definitely. Hell yeah. Like Jamal don't want, like, I'm telling you, it's a bad stylistic matchup. You know what I mean? Bad. Like, I feel like the person who gonna give David the best.
They can both have to take this out. Not to mean to cut you out, bro. They might as well have them a brother fight. The Benavidez versus the goddamn the Charlotte sisters.
It ain't gonna happen. And you know why? All this don't mean shit because the PBC, they want to give Benavidez and Jamal Canelo fight. So they're going to keep them away. They're not going to fight each other. PBC ain't going to want that because they want to make money. And the only fights they got for Canelo right now to the table is the Benavidez and the Jamal. And that's the only reason why we ain't going to see these guys fight because David won it. Jamal, he don't really want it. He done told you. He even gave you every excuse in the book. You know what I'm saying? First he say, same with Boo Boo. You see, we talk about Triple G unifying with Miranda. Why don't you unify with Demetrius Andre? Don't tell me about he pulled out in no Jamel Charlo fight. He wanted to fight you. He didn't want to fight your brother. We can say that. If you want to run with that, we want to run with that. But he came to you directly, and you told him straight up, "I'm not no matchmaker." Fuck you,
That
man.
nigga told Danny Jacobs he ain't want no smoke. He when
You
Danny
know what I'm
ran up
saying?
on him.
So
But
again, so this dude don't want to fight nobody, bro. That's why he fighting the competition. Who he is? Like, look at his best win at 160 is Dermachenko, who them got beaten in every big fight. We could say Dermachenko, people saying Dermachenko beat Triple G, but he lost. Black and white, he lost. You know what I'm saying? He lost to Daniel Jacobs. He lost to Jamal Charles. So again, like, who is his greatest win? We can't talk about 154 because that shit is a long time ago. What you doing now? What you doing lately? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
At the end of the day, if, like I said, if Jamal don't fight Canelo Alvarez, Triple G, or Boo Boo next,
he
he
ain't doing nothing. Period.
no fucking excuse on not fighting David Benavidez. He don't got no excuse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You straight out what the nigga say. I smell. Is that you, Jamal? I smell. Is that you, Charlo? You know what I'm saying? I need to know. We need to know. We need.
All right, hey, let me let my man Mark cook on real quick. But before you do that, let me hit the chat real quick. Hey, D Hodges in the chat, man. Salute to you, man. MJ's Total Health and Wellness in Enrichment. Salute to you too, fam. Knockout Boxing TV 86 TV. Salute to you. Yeah, Mark, go ahead and spit your piece on it real quick so we can move on to the next thing, man. With Charlo and all this other shit.
Yeah, I don't see Jamal trying to fight anyone right now. You know, he's pretty much waiting around with the WBC belt. So I guess he's waiting on some kind of mandatory or something to pop up. You know, I don't know what he's doing, bro.
Well, when
Yeah.
was he trying to fight somebody?
When Canelo was a 160 pounder.
Oh, okay. So that's your piece?
That's pretty much. I don't got too much to say about Jamal. He's not doing nothing.
All right. So what about this thing with so Regis and Jamal, right? I guess they're on Instagram Live or whatever, and apparently, you know, they had some little they were betting on the Porter and the Bud fight, and Regis say Jamal asked Regis who gonna win. And Regis said he got Bud. He told us, "Oh, nigga, you just picking Bud because you scared of Sean, nigga, because you scared because you scared of Sean." Sound like the nigga was drunk on Instagram or something. I don't know. You know, he was sounding all slurry and shit. But anyway, he said he picking Porter because he don't like the fact that Bud talks shit to his brother and all this other shit. So he picking Porter winning the late rounds and blah this quade and he told Bud, don't move up to 154 either. What you think about all that?
Well, you know who did move up to 154, right? Danny Garcia, who's calling out Jamel and Castano.
Yeah.
And he's going to fight in February or March, he's saying. But Crawford, his desire would be only to fight Jamel. I mean, how many divisions they want him to go up? You know what I mean? So that's the thing I don't like about Jamal. He doesn't want to fight anyone. And then at the same time, he hides behind his brother's work. At one time, we was looking at Jamel as the little brother. Remember that he wasn't doing anything and stuff like that? And Jamal was the man when he went to 160. And then all of a sudden, he went to 160 and became Hollywood. I don't know what happened, bro. You know? So he started talking this stuff about he's not like Barzini saying, He's talking about this kind of thing like, I don't want to fight Andrade because of a business fallout between Andrade and Charlo's brother Jamel. That's not an excuse not to fight someone. And if you have a problem with them, you do take it to the ring, and you could get paid doing it. So I don't get it. I don't get it, bro. I really don't get it.
Boys, what you think about him making an emotional bet, man, based on how he feel about Bud or whatever the case may be? What I just said about him and Regis and all that.
Well,
Because Regis adamant about who he picked.
I figure he'd do something like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I really don't care who he pick and who he have an emotional pick on. Like that shit don't mean anything to me. You got somebody calling you pussy. Now do something. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's what you need to do. You got Andre fucking come. Yo, you know how many times Andre walked up to him and asked them they want to fight? 3 occasions. You can go on YouTube and find Demetrius Andre talking about he want to unify with fucking Jamal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I dislike people keep saying, "Oh, we ain't going." This is their excuse. He ain't making no dollar off of us. We ain't giving him no money. You know what I'm saying? I fight him in the streets. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't fighting them niggas. You know what I'm saying? Fuck, I ain't giving him a dollar. He ain't making a dollar off of me, man. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? That's how he talking. That's the excuse because he didn't give you a fight, my nigga. How many niggas didn't give you a fight? Did Canelo give you a fight when he was the fucking champion? No. You know what I'm saying? How many times y'all been chasing Canelo? How many times Triple G? Wasn't you in talks? He said he was in talks with a big fight with Triple G. They pulled out in negotiations. What, you not mad at Triple G, but he's still calling him out, right? You see what I'm saying? It always take a nigga to do something to another nigga. You know what I mean? But don't want to do it. Don't want to keep the same energy to any other race. You know what I'm saying? Because we already know Charlos want to be accepted in the other world.
So let me ask you this real quick. What happened with and hold your thought on Charlo want to be accepted in the other world, but what happened with Chris Eubank and Charlo? Who pulled out on that fight?
And
then you can answer. Go back to sandwiches.
We're hearing about talks about that fight. It didn't happen. PBC didn't believe it.
It just died. And Eubanks went and fought someone else.
Oh, okay. But you go ahead and get back going, but I didn't mean to break your rhythm like that.
But with the Eubank situation, the problem was Eubank then after that Matt Corval fight, and he had the leg injury. Al Heyman didn't get him no fights. Didn't get no fights, and I'm sure they wanted to do the Jamal Charlo and Eubank fight, but I think Eubank in a way like, yo, I ain't fighting 2 years. I'm not fighting no Tyler Shires against Jamal, and you're not giving me no keeping me active. So he went to sign with the guy Sullivan, who does that World Boxing Series tournaments and shit like that. And now he's been active. This is going to be his 3rd fight this year against Leon Williams. You know what I mean? When he
Hey, hold on. Fuck that. Hey, boss, I ain't want you to get sidetracked on what you're saying, man.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is
fuck Chris Eubank. We can talk about him another time.
Jamal needs to show he ain't no coward. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if he's gonna unify with Triple G or Demetrius Andre, I don't got nothing to say. You know what I mean? I've been wanting him and Boo Boo for a long time. I've been wanting him against Triple G for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna knock those fights. If you get the Canelo fight, I've been wanting that fight since y'all were both at 154. So yeah, I look forward to that. But if he ain't gonna fight those 3 fighters, there's no excuse you could come out with. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna beat no David because he know he can't beat David. He know that. He just had a war his last fight. You know what I mean? He don't want that intensity again. You know what I mean? Somebody who bigger and stronger and who gonna throw a relentless combination, who gonna be on his ass. He gonna earn his fucking pay. He don't want that smoke.
Yeah, that last guy gave him some problems, bro.
So again, you know what this fucking coward said, dog? He said, "Fucking Demetrius Andre need to fight him, and then I'll fight him next." That's what his excuse was. Oh, he's a horrible fighter. Stop dick eating this nigga Canelo. Oh, he's a horrible fighter. You gonna dick it? So if Canelo say you a horrible fighter, you gonna fucking dick eat him? Oh, I'm a horrible fighter. Stop it, man, because you don't like Boo Boo. Nigga, fight the nigga if you don't like him so much. So, you know what I mean? We need to see the fight. My favorite fight at 160 is Demetrius Andre and Jamal Charlo. They need to get it over with. This saga been since 14? We about to go in 2022 with the same we want to see Boo Boo versus Charlo. Nigga, are you a lion or you a dare? Because you sure ain't showing that you a lion. You ain't a lion.
Word.
You a fucking
Word.
dare. You know what I'm saying? You a fucking dare with this bullshit. You need to fight Boo Boo. Or you need to fight fucking one of these guys, man. If you're not fighting them, man, just retire. Because I don't want to see you fighting these entrees and these cold cuts. I want to see a fucking steak. I want to see a fish, nigga. Like, give me a lobster. You know what I mean? You giving me fucking chips. I don't want no fucking $25 chips. I want a fucking steak, nigga. Give me a steak. Not a $25 chips.
That's real. That's real, bro. That's real. Hey, y'all, did y'all hear about Luis Ortiz supposed to be fighting Charles Martin on January 1st in Florida, in Hollywood, Florida?
Yeah, I like that fight. I like that fight so much. The reason why
that's a good fight. I like that fight.
The reason why I like that fight, just my one thing, is that I don't understand how Ortiz ain't fought one name since Wilder or Brian Jennings. Those are the only people I recognize. Don't tell me about no Travis Kaufman. Them guys ain't really nothing. They ain't really did nothing. He ain't fought no Chris Arreola, who's on PBC. He didn't fight no Adam Konaki, Robert Hilelius. He didn't fight Dominic Brazilian. He didn't fight fucking, bad as this name is, Gerald Washington. He's the
Hold on one second. Let me salute get people in the chat real quick. Crush the Legend, salute, man. Who else we got in here? We got Stormy. What's good, Sensei? Jeffrey H. Lopez, what's good to you? Hey, man, check this out. I dropped the link in the chat. Anybody want to come on? Hit the link, man. But yeah, I think that's a good fight, man. That'll be it ain't gonna really mean shit for Ortiz, but it'd be something that the fans probably would want to see. I know I wouldn't mind seeing it, just for shits and giggles. I wouldn't count Martin out in that fight, because Martin showed me some heart and some dog in this fight, So I don't know, man, but I still would favor Ortiz to win though.
Mm-hmm.
But if Martin could get Ortiz in the deep waters and drown him in the later rounds, it could be a different story because we don't know how much Ortiz got left in the tank. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So it'll be interesting to see though. Very interesting to see.
Mm-hmm. Ortiz originally he wanted Andy Ruiz. That's what he was aiming for, and he thought he was going to be on the undercard of Tank Davis versus Rolly.
Who thought they wanted? Who wanted Andy?
That's what Ortiz did. He wanted Andy.
Well, excuse me, Mar. The one thing I don't think Andy Ruiz will fight on anybody undercard. You know what I'm saying?
That's real. That's real.
Because they made a pay-per-view with him and Chris Arreola. So,
that's real. That's real.
what he wanted on the undercard was the George Joyce. Remember, that's what he said. It was a box scene, like our fight.
Yeah, it was like 3 of them.
Who wanted Joe Jordan?
Luis Ortiz.
Yeah, he wanted
tripping,
him.
man. He tripping.
Like he wanted, you know what I mean? Because George came out with it saying that Ortiz.
Yeah. Listen,
and that was
the Juggernaut he'll put Ortiz to sleep, my guy.
Hey, if why he ain't bite? Why ain't take?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what's so funny?
Promotion issues.
Had the hottest win of 2020, right? In 2021, he ain't fought once.
Yeah.
Daniel Dubois already got some fights in. George Joyce ain't done shit in 2021. He got the biggest win of his career and nothing. There's fucking absolutely nothing. So we could talk about how good George Joyce is. He could have took the Ortiz.
I ain't saying. I just think he could beat Ortiz. I just think that.
We could think all we want. He didn't.
Yeah, they got to do it.
He don't have the nuts to take it. He didn't have the nuts.
Actually, isn't that a promotion issue though?
How? He's with Frank Warren.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that would have been a PBC fight. That would have been a Mayweather promotion fight.
Mayweather promotion?
Yeah, because it would have been under Mayweather promotion because he was trying to do it under Tank.
Yeah, but they've been doing business since Liam Wash and Gervonta Davis. Him and Frank Warren. He's not tied up with the zone, and Frank Warren don't got no deal with nobody. He don't got no deal. What TV deal he got? He out here flipping to get fights or anything. He don't got no deal.
All right, so what we gonna talk about next, man? What's next on the list, on the menu that we got to serve? We got guests to serve, so we got to keep the entrees nice and fat for the guests. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, you remember that Stanionis versus Uga.
Oh yeah, when is that damn deadline for Ugas? When do we gotta make this?
The deadline is 30 days after October 19th. And after that, it goes to a purse bid.
So, Uga's got about 2 more days. What's the date? The 15th? No, he got about like 4 more days to figure out what the hell he wanted to do.
Yep.
3-4 more days. 3 days, really.
Yeah.
The day over with. So that's gonna let us know what direction Earl Spencer's kind of ain't probably gonna let us know which direction he's gonna go in, but it's gonna play a factor in which direction he's gonna go in next, right? Ain't that right, Bars? You look like you ready to say something, Bars.
I'm pretty interested in what they're gonna do because I really don't know what Earl is gonna do after that.
Somebody mute your mic.
Yeah, so
what's good, Sensei?
Yo, what's good with you, Trap House? Good to see you back on the scene, man. How you been?
Good. I've been good, man. Blessed, can't complain, man. Cannot complain at all. Football season over. Ain't coaching no more this year until next year. And yeah, man, it's boxing again.
Yeah, I figured it's the only way I can get a hold of you. So I thought I saw that link. I said, let me go on in here and say hello to the man that gave me my nickname. All due respect. You know, we got to get together on one of them kung fu joints, bro.
Yeah, man, I've been locked in, man. I done watched some of the kung fu movies, though, man. We got a lot to rap about. But I'm gonna go ahead and get you in rotation. And I'm gonna go ahead and let my man Bars go ahead and squeeze, and you go ahead and after he get done, you go ahead and pick up the mic, man.
And peace to the other brothers on the panel here, man. Salute to you, brothers.
Hey, salute, brethren.
Like I was saying, I'm pretty interested to see what they're gonna do with this WBA situation. I know what the WBA is planning, but are they gonna make the fight? Because I think one of the brothers was saying that they might pay step aside money to Stanionis to get that Earl and Ugas fight. So I'm not sure if it's going to actually take place, but I'm pretty interested to see because I don't know if Ugas fights Stanionis. I really don't know where Earl might do, or unless Earl gonna wait to see the winner and then unify there. Because I know he ain't going straight to Crawford next. He won that WBA fight first before he get like, everybody like they say in Texas, do the easy questions first and take the hard one last. So that's what I think Earl gonna do with the situation. But it's gonna be pretty interesting to see what is gonna take place. Is Earl gonna get the Ugas fight, or is he gonna wait to see the winner? Or I'm not sure, but I know he ain't gonna go straight to the Crawford fight. You know what I mean? That's the hardest fight. So that's my take on it.
From what I have seen with Stanionis, he's looking forward to that title shot. So pretty much, I think he's going to order that purse bid because he's trying to get that title shot. So they're gonna continue with that WBA thing, but they're not gonna stop just with the welterweight division. They're gonna do this with each division, including like they said, like heavyweight division. They said they're gonna have Helenius, Char, the boys, and Joe Joyce in a 4-man tournament in a heavyweight tournament, WBA, next year. This is what they was talking about. I have read that from the WBA. Not sure if they're going to do it, but that's probably why Joe Joyce would not fight Ortiz right away, because he's trying to get in that WBA mandatory thing, Whoever wins that will fight whoever wins, whoever has that belt at that time.
So, Sensei, the
Yes,
mic is
sir.
yours, man. You go ahead and cook. Go ahead. The mic is yours, man. I'm gonna go ahead and let you do your thing.
What's the question?
Oh man, shoot. Yeah, we was talking about what we saw the Ugas situation. That's what we was on. We was on Ugas, but his deadline is coming up. He's going to have to make a decision on either standing on this or he gets stripped. Pretty much. Bars thinks different a little bit, but he's going to have to make a decision. He's going to have to go to purse bid if you don't make a decision, right?
Yeah, we'll go to purse bid.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the way I see it with what they're doing with Ugas, man, is they're trying to get that belt off of him anyway, because they didn't want him to defeat Manny Pacquiao. There was a greater plan in place, and he kind of threw a wrench in everything. They were keeping him away from the belts before this whole thing went down the way it did, because of course Manny was originally supposed to go in with Earl, and that was supposed to help Earl get closer to undisputed. But he having to pull out with the eye injury and everything, and Manny foolishly went ahead and accepted Ugas. The thing about it is this: the powers that be don't want these Cuban fighters with the world titles, bro. That's a fact. They don't.
The only problem I find with that theory, though, Bertrand, is
hold on, Mark. Hold on, Mark. Let him cook, Mark.
The whole point of it is like a lot of them and their history in the sport of boxing is that they've been pretty good. And right now, this current era of fighters, they leave a lot to be desired. a lot of them don't have that stellar background that some of the amateurs, bring through and everything. So you have to be a well-schooled fighter. Like Earl is well-schooled. No denying that. So is what's my man name? Sean Porter, who has that experience at that weight class, and Bud Crawford. But the thing about it is this: on average, if you're beneath those guys that I just named, you have a rough go with someone like your Dennis Ugas. Stripping him would be ideal, what they want to do. They don't want to really put him in there and be messing up somebody else's career by defeating them. This kid Stanionis, the reason that I think he was selected is because they're thinking that it's his physicality and the style that he fights is a detriment to Ugas, because he's a lot younger, he's a lot fresher, and he won't allow Ugas to box in his normal way. It's going to have to be a war, and Ugas possibly can't win a war against a guy with that particular style if Stanionis can take a solid punch. We know the opposition that he's been in with, but it's the style. That's why they picked that guy in particular for Ugas. They could have went with someone else, but they would like to see that. Boxing is so strange how they position people in and out. The one who should get a title shot is Jaron Ennis. But they went a different way. Because at the end of the day, Ennis is going to be a champion regardless. But this is all about getting that belt out of that guy's hands right now. A lot of people may not see this, but it's just easy to see it as the way they worked and angled Canelo to the path of picking up that WBC title at 168 and now being granted that opportunity to be undisputed by removing one of the guys that was, going to be tough opposition, and that was Anthony Durrell and David Benavidez, because those were the last two to fight for that belt. Durrell was stopped on cuts, remember? And on the night that Canelo fought Anvil Yildirim, Durrell fought on that same night on a PBC card when he should have been Yildirim. So there's a lot of politics going on here. You're not going to see the fights you really want to see because they're too busy trying to angle things for a particular agenda. It's like they're moving pieces on a chessboard. And if you don't understand how chess is played, you can't see these things because you may be more familiar with checkers. It's as simple as that. And I don't want to take too much time, but that's just a brief feel about what's happening here.
What was you gonna say, Mark? You go ahead, continue on.
The problem with that theory is that where this all sprang up from for the WBA was when the WBA had the match between Gabriel Master and Michael, what is his, Michael Fox? And they robbed Michael Fox. Well, the ABC, they stepped in. The Organization Athletic Boxing Commission, they stepped in and they sent a letter to WBA. This is this is like a week before the Ugas and Pacquiao fight. They sent a letter to the WBA and they threatened the WBA that they would not sanction any of their fights, which would have put WBA out of business. So the WBA had to come up with this strategy called the reduction belt plan. And the first place that they was going to do it was in the welterweight division. But this was going to happen. This is still going to happen in every division, not just with Ugas. This is not picking on Ugas. This is actually WBA trying to save their behind because they have been ordered by the ABC commission, that the Athletic Boxing Commission. And that's where all of this stuff stems from. It stems from Master and Fox match because it was all set up. They had somebody in the corner from WBA in Master's corner. At the same time, one of the judges was with the WBA, which was connected to Master's corner, and the venue itself was connected to the promoter that was all connected with the WBA. So it was already geared for Gabriel Master to be. He was going to become part of this tournament. He would have became part of this tournament because he would have been the interim champion, because that's what that fight was about, an interim championship. Well, that got canceled when the ABC stepped in and ordered the WBA to do something about their belt situation. And too bad they don't do it for the WBC, because that's the only one that's going to be standing with all of these multiple belts that nobody can figure out what is what. So at least WBA is trying to do a reduction plan. And they're going to do that with each division. It had nothing to do with Earl Spence, had nothing to do with Ugas, had nothing to do with Pacquiao, had something to do with them saving their own behinds. Other than that, they would have been put out of business, and there would have been 3 sanctioning bodies.
Pretty much what you're saying. They didn't even have the budget to afford the super and all that regular and all that old interim and all that old extra crap they be coming up with.
According to the ABC, they ordered them. They wanted one champion in the WBA. They wanted one champion. And they would allow them to have something like a regular champion, which is like the mandatory belt, which that person, which eventually will have to fight the super champion. So they're doing a reduction plan so they can have one champion, like IBF has and like WBO has. Only one that's not going to, I don't know why they're not pressuring WBC, man. I can't get that part.
Yeah. Anybody else want to cook on that? Because I want to ask Stormy a question real quick before we move on to something else. Anybody want to cook on that real quick? Hey, so Stormy, real quick, man. It's about Charlo. What do you think about Charlo and his energy towards David Benavidez? How David Benavidez said that he smelled coochie all over. What you think about that? Just real quick.
I think that's a fact. I think that Charlo don't have. I think he don't have energy toward Benavidez. He never did. Once Benavidez stepped up when he heard his name called, Charlo turned with his tail between his legs and started backpedaling away from that. But see, you're never too old for your wants to hurt you. Every time he's done that, and we saw it in the past, like with Danny Jacobs, and Danny Jacobs ran across him where they were in the same space, and he was like, "Oh, look who we have here!" And he, all of a sudden, the lion's roar was silenced, huh? And that tells you something. You don't have to talk if you're good. All you got to do is sign contracts and get in the ring. These young men, the brothers, have earned some money. They've bought homes and cars and material possessions, put their mom in a great place and stuff like that. They're done. That's what their content is. I did something with Drew Titan LLC a few weeks back, and we kind of let the cat out the bag that for as many people that don't know this, Charlo accepted step-aside money, which is why he didn't fight Canelo Alvarez when they were supposed to meet at 160. What was it? Just before the world situation took place. So it's like, that's how he bought that nice home he got. A lot of people don't know that. We got it on very good, reliable source of information. That's what he wanted. and he made the money without risking anything in the ring. Is he a fraud? Absolutely not. But is he a champion that wants to take on the challenges that are bestowed upon him? Not at all. Not at all. And you saw he had trouble with Montiel, right? You saw that. You saw that lackluster effort against a guy who was tough enough to stick in there, but not good enough to win. We just saw this past weekend, Jaime Munguia has grown up under the tutelage of Eric Morales. He's advanced by leaps and bounds from who he was before getting with Morales to the time that he's had off with the world situation and the last time we saw him before the world situation and where he is now. Gabe Rosado gave a solid effort in that fight, and I felt Rosado beat Danny Jacobs, but didn't get the decision. If he gave that type of effort against Danny Jacobs, Charlo didn't want to fight Danny Jacobs, but Jaime beat the crap out of Gabe Rosado with voluminous activity. Jaime can take Charlo right now. The walls are closing in on him. He got Jaime right there where he is. He got David Benavidez just a step up a few pounds north. And I'm telling you, man, it's all coming. The house of cards are crumbling on these guys. And it's funny because you mentioned energy. The negative energy that they have put out toward fans, civilians, and Deontay Wilder. All of this is coming back upon them in different manners. And it was interesting when Deontay gave that interview, and he said he didn't have to say nothing. The people gonna tear his ass up. He was right. You know, chickens coming home to roost, right in the lion's den.
You know, another one that Jamal would maybe have a problem with too is this guy that calls himself Triple G's brother, Aleem Khalouli. He's supposed to be fighting on the undercard of Crawford versus Porter. So keep your eye on him. He's supposed to fight Saddam. What you call it? Hassan Hassan.
Who?
Nadam or whatever his name. How you pronounce his name again? Indam. Yeah, he's supposed to be fighting him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hassan Indam.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with anything else? Because you know we got to cover Porter and Crawford. So anything else? We got Texas T off in this thing. My boy Trav, what's good? You know what's good, Texas T. Man, you already know. Yeah, McGill have gotten better, man. He's gotten better. He's definitely been able to keep his balance has gotten better because he ain't all over the place when he's throwing them wide hooks and spinning around and doing all that old crazy stuff he was doing before. I want to see out of McGill. What I do want to see is a different punch selection. Though he tends to throw the same punches over and over again, and pretty much he got the certain combinations that he liked to throw. But other than that, I mean, he looked pretty solid and gave a good effort. I think Gabe Rosado is a fight away from retirement. I didn't like the way he was taking punishment in that McGill fight, to be honest with you, with the high guard, you know, with no head movement, you know.
That was a rough fight for Gabe because they made Gabe come all the way down to 160.
Yeah.
At an older age, man. That's tough, man.
Yeah, but you know, but I mean he got outworked though, man. McGill, his volume was just too much. You know, it was just too much. His output Gabe couldn't keep up with that, man. You see, he was clinching early in the early rounds, trying to, slow the pace down, and it wasn't working. You know, it was. I knew it was gonna be a rough night for him when I seen McGill starting out with throwing 5, 6 punches like he always do, and he was landing half of the punches that he was throwing. So it was just like, man, it's gonna be a long night for Gabe, man. But I was rooting for Gabe, to be honest with y'all. To be honest, I just wanted to see Gabe revive his career again, back to back. That would have been a real interesting story. See him knock off the young, little hungry. Well, I don't know how hungry McGill is, because the thing is this: McGill, Charlo, like you said, Stormy, uh, Charlo should be McGill could knock Charlo off right now. You say, right? But the thing is, McGill don't even mention Charlo name for some reason. I don't know.
McGee is trying to fight Derevchenko next. He's not going to try to fight Charlo. He's going to fight
I want to
Derevchenko.
add on it. I'm gonna let y'all cook, but I'm gonna add on that.
Go ahead, bro, because I'm done. Go ahead.
My thing is, like you said, people forget Munguia is the number one in the WBC and the number one in the WBO. It's on. He reiterated Derevchenko, but that's not who he said first. He even at his press conference, all he's been calling out is Triple G. He been wanting to fight Triple G before the Saddam Ali fight when they picked Vanez Monorosian. They wanted Munguia wanted to fight. They gave it to Munguia, and the commission came out and said no. Munguia's been only wanting to fight fucking Triple G. That's it. The Derevchenko, he said Derevchenko way after. He only reiterating Triple G. And he is the number one in the WBO and the WBC. The only reason why he's saying Derevchenko to save face because he was supposed to fight Derevchenko in a title eliminator. And he said, no, I'll fight Rosado first because they were setting up the Rosado fight way before they were setting the Derevchenko fight.
Yeah.
Munguia does not want to fight Derevchenko. He doesn't. He'll fight him if there's nothing else on the table, but he wants only Triple G. He don't want to fight Boo Boo. Oscar De La Hoya don't want to put him in there with Boo Boo. Fucking Xander promotion, who Munguia is also a promotion signed to, don't want to make Boo Boo and Charlo. I mean Boo Boo and Munguia, or Boo Boo and Charlo. Charlo been calling out Munguia. This is not like Charlo. Yes, he wants to fight Munguia because they all think he's sweet. Jerry Hurt, all them guys, Tony Harris, they all been thinking Munguia is sweet. They want to fight Munguia. They take Munguia in the quickness. I'm telling you that much.
And they'll take the ass whooping right along with that quickness because he has improved tremendously from those two guys that you just mentioned, Hurd and Charlo. And Charlo has been sitting back, resting on his laurels, like I said, spending that money and running his mouth. And I'm telling you, in the meantime, while other fighters are getting better and advancing, just like you said, the guy that's going to be on the undercard of the Porter and Crawford fight, this is what happened when AJ stalled out with his belts. I had said this before it happened. I said, he going to mess around and the rest of the division of young fighters, contenders, and what have you are going to grow. They're going to get better. And next thing you know, you're going to find each of those guys being in number one contender spots for each of those belts he's got. Well, he used to have, because now Usyk has the belts. But this is why smart champions start seeing these guys when they're coming up, and you catch them before they learn the things that they need to learn to become world champions. Floyd did that to Canelo. If he had waited maybe another year or so, it could have been something different. He caught that kid at the right time, taught him a lesson, and moved on with himself. And that will forever play a mental game with Canelo. But he did it the right way. Most of the champions in history in the past, when they catch those young guys coming up, you have to catch them at a certain stage. That way, it still looks like they're not on your level, even though they very well may be being a fight or two away from them being able to overtake you. You can see the boxing IQ in these guys is not that good because they don't spend the time in the gym. They spend the time on social media and going out in public venues, picking, starting mess and everything. That's not what real champions do. Real champions sit back, they start sharpening up their razors and be ready for the next challenge. I don't see a lot of that happening with these guys. I don't see a lot of it happening. And you're going to see more of them knocked off of their perch in upsets and fights that they were forced to take on and weren't prepared for them.
But
that kid that Charlo fought in his last fight at 160, listen, man, if he had a little bit of offensive skill, he could have pulled that fight out. But he wasn't, he wasn't on that level. He wasn't. But why the kid look so bad? Why he looks so poor? It's because he's not doing the things he needs to be doing.
But
there's a reason why his brother wants him to get away from Ronnie Shields. Not that it's Ronnie Shields' fault, but it's like, I don't think he's listening to Ronnie anymore. So he's not growing.
But again, Stormy B, man, you saying all of this about Munguia, but Munguia don't believe in himself to beat Jamal Charlo.
I haven't seen anything that tells me that Munguia don't believe in himself.
So
but
why
what I can tell you,
why don't he call out Jamal Charlo if he's the man?
He doesn't have to call out Charlo. He doesn't have to call out anybody. You know why? I'm getting ready to throw the microphone at you and drop it.
Go ahead.
He got privilege that they don't have.
Damn.
You hear what I said?
Oh, that was low.
Did you hear what I said?
That was low, but real.
That was it.
I'm not going to talk about that. That's a couch.
It's part of it, brother. It's always been part of it in the sport of boxing. And as long as that exists in there, you're going to see who is Canelo calling out. But he still managed to finagle all those titles into his grasp. Why?
Privilege.
Say it.
Privilege.
Say it.
I'm not saying.
It ain't nothing else to say.
I never thought Munguia was.
It ain't nothing else
throw the
to
mic
say.
out there and drop it because until you start receiving the truth, the facts, open your mind up for that, man. Calling somebody out don't mean nothing, but getting in the ring with somebody means everything. We heard Charlo call out Benavidez. What's happening with that? We heard him call out Danny Jacobs. What's happening with that? There was a time when he called out Andre, and then that flipped on this end.
He would have gladly take that fight. I'm telling you, with the Munguia fight, Jamal Charlo would gladly take the fight because they think he's weak. Now,
but he ain't.
If he's not, they think he's weak.
I'm gonna tell you something though, bro. I'm gonna tell you something,
brother. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I'm gonna tell you something. A jitterbug that's letting his hands go in 5, 6, 7, 8 punch combination, bro.
I'm
really gonna have a problem.
I have no problem putting some money on that fight. No. I
don't give a fuck. Listen, bro. Jamal Charlo gonna have problems. He don't let his hands go enough for Munguia. It'll be a good fight.
He don't got no defense. Come on, y'all just hype of Gabe Rosado. We talking about Gabe Rosado with 40 losses. Come on, man. Nah, man. We're gonna quit this bullshit.
I didn't say he'll win. I said he would give him problems.
Every single body.
Listen, bro. Listen, bro.
Let's get it right, bro.
Nah, listen, bro. He will give Charlo some problems, bro. I don't care what you say. Hey, let me salute some people in the chat real quick,
go ahead,
man.
go ahead.
Scrapbook, my man, the OG man. Man, if you ain't went to Scrapbook Boxing, go subscribe to Scrapbook, man. Salute to you, OG man. Much love to you. Who else we got here? Napoleon Armstrong. Salute to you, family. 704 Joe. It's Trap House. What it do? Long time. Sensei Stormy B. Oh man, that's what's up. You already know what to do, 704 Joe. You know we off in here, man. We talking a little bit of boxing this today, man. We're gonna get on this Bud and this Porter thing in a minute, man. Don't worry. So you just stick around and
Hey,
waiting out for that, 704 Joe.
Hey, check this out, y'all. Another thing too about the WBA issue also is if Ugas decides to pull out of that tournament, Jaron Ennis becomes the next man in that tournament. So it would be Stanionis versus Jaron Ennis for the super title. And then they would have to fight Muteyev. They would have to fight him around, I think, around April, somewhere around that time, April or May.
Okay, so
Jaron is in the picture.
Oh, okay. And another thing, man, I want to double back on something that Stormy said earlier that I wanted to chime in on, but I wanted to let him cook first. Like these guys, they ain't training enough and it shows in the skill set of these fighters and the IQ of these fighters because most of them don't know how to cut the ring off. Most of them don't even stay dedicated to just regular basic to fundamentals. They don't even use their jab all often. They don't use jab variation. They use just one power jab or they use the pawn jab. They don't. Most of them they don't have variations of the jab. You know they lack. They don't know how to clinch. It's a lot of things they don't know how to do. You know when guys lean on them and put them in the headlock and things like that, they don't know what to do to negate any of that. And it's just like, or they sometimes you'll see a fight where you see a guy who's just strictly a good outboxer, right? He's like, we're gonna use like a Jamal James, for example, right? We could use him. And you get a guy that's scrappy that's gonna put the pressure on him and maul him, rough him up and beat him up and bang him up and make it hard for him. And now all of a sudden he gotta learn how to fight on the inside on that night. Bro, it ain't gonna happen, bro. You gotta learn that in the gym, guy. You got to learn that in the gym. Bottom line, and I don't know, and I noticed that throughout the years lately, you know, with these fighters, it's been that same repetitive pattern that I've been seeing with these fighters. It's like they learn, they get in these tough fights that they call out, and then it's like they wasn't even equipped to fight these guys who they called out. You know,
yeah, they're incomplete fighters, Trap.
Yeah.
They're incomplete. They might have a big punch. They might have a nice jab. They might have a good punch to the body or something like that. But they don't have the complete package.
Like Berlanga, for example. He one of the ones that we just recently seen, right? Let's use him for example. Bro, they was talking about him versus, I'm like, bro, don't even mention him with Canelo. Don't mention him with Benavidez. Don't mention him with nobody like that, bro. He got a long way to go. He needs work. He needs work. Bottom line, guys like that. Just use him as an example. Not picking on him, but just him as an example.
Well, you mentioned someone a moment ago whose name is even better to keep in the midst of this conversation's subject, Jamal James.
Yeah.
He had no answer for a guy who was strong and had that bully type style of being physical and everything. Butayev was not a great slugger or anything like that. He was just a strong guy. And when he realized that he could assert his physicality over James, who actually withered under that, he got brave.
Yep.
He got brave.
Yeah.
But a true skilled fighter can take a fighter like Butayev and turn his weaknesses up to dial up to 10. And you can make him realize I don't belong in the ring with you. But James didn't do that. He wilted and he faded and he just gave in. He submitted to Batayev's physicality. Did you see how the man was just hitting him on the break and pushing him? He was just being physical with the guy. And the more he did that, the more James just kind of withered.
Yeah.
He had no
And
answer
see,
for that.
and these guys even like head movement. It's a lot of stuff. I could go on and on. Football, I could go on, but I don't even want to go there. I'm gonna let somebody else. What was you about to say, Mark? Because we got some more stuff to cover real quick.
What about that Sean Porter versus Crawford fight?
I got you hit, man. Well, since you want it so bad, you go ahead and kick it off. You go ahead and kick that off. I'm gonna let you go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll that out, man. Go ahead.
Well, it's going to be a pretty good fight, while it lasts. You know what I mean? But pretty much Sean going to get out of there. Going to get stopped.
Okay, so what makes you think? Why you think Sean gonna get stopped? I ain't gonna let you off the hook that easy. You ain't gonna just tell me he gonna get stopped and you gonna roll your ass out the back door and think that's gonna be that and you gonna pass the mic. No, I need you to break something down there, Jack. Come on.
I just don't think he has this. I think his style is tailor-made for someone like Crawford, all of that bullying type of stuff. Crawford comes from a wrestling background. He loves that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So I just see what I see happening is that I see him, kind of like measuring him out at first. Sean Porter should win the beginning rounds, but after that, it's going to be pretty much over. It's going to look like, in my opinion, it's going to look like Felix Diaz versus Crawford.
But Felix Diaz didn't win one round.
Huh?
But Felix Diaz didn't win one round. That was a
well, since you talking, why don't you go ahead and say your piece then, brother? Since you want to run your mouth,
go ahead and say that.
Go ahead. Since you want to talk bars, go ahead.
Yo, I'm just glad the fight is happening. It's one of my favorite fights at welterweight. You know what I mean? I've been really wanting this fight. Trap House know I've been wanting this fight really bad. When 78, when Kenny Porter came on 78 show, and right after the Earl Spence fight, Kenny Porter was saying, yo, we looking for the Terrence Crawford fight. So I've been looking for it soon as Kenny said that shit. And I knew this could have the potential of being one of the best welterweight fights in this generation. I hope it becomes that because I want to see a great fight. You know what I mean? I'm going to pay my $70. I'm paying for every pay-per-view besides the Paul brothers. I did pay for the Floyd and Logan, but I haven't paid for any of the Jake Paul fights. But all of the pay-per-views from Chris Arreola and Andy Ruiz, I've been paying for every single one of them. And I just want to see a classic. Now, how the fight going to play out, it's going to be pretty interesting because I have never seen nobody use that relentless style on Crawford. I thought Diaz would have given me that, but he didn't. That shit didn't come to the fight. I thought Jeff Horn would have did that. It didn't play out in the fight. So I'm hoping Sean Porter does what he's supposed to and give us a war. And every time Sean Porter fights the elite competition, he give us one of the greatest welterweight fights. You know what I mean? We can go from the Keith Thurman, the Earl Spence, even the Kell Brook was a great fight until the clinches came about. Sean didn't have no answer, but it was still a good fight at the end of the day. But I like this fight. I hope it's a classic. I hope it's a war. Everybody been saying Terrence Crawford is going to knock Sean Porter out. I need to see. The one thing that I noticed in the difference between this fight and behind the scenes that Sean, he's doing a lot of things. I don't know, does he have the focusness in straight just boxing alone? I'm not saying we can't do nothing else but boxing, but he's been doing his shows. He's been doing coming to every PBC Fox fight. He's been coming to commentate, so he hasn't missing anything. He's shown to ESPN. So I'm like, damn, Sean is like juggling a whole lot of things. So that's what the only thing I'm hearing. And I'm also hearing that Crawford haven't been doing really well in sparring. That's the rumor alert that, you know what I mean? I've been hearing like some rumors about Crawford been getting beat up in sparring. I don't know how true it is. And I noticed that Crawford also, that he said like an interesting thing, like every time Sean Porter comes to fight, he gives, like, he comes out the victor or some shit. I'm like, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't understand what he was saying about all of that. But the interesting thing is I want to see how this going to play out. I know Crawford is going to win, but how he's going to win is going to be a great thing. I remember Kenny said, like, the only thing you can do with my son is either run or hold. So what you going to do? Because you can't beat him either other way. I haven't seen anybody beat him the other way. I guess Earl, because Earl didn't hold. Earl just came forward. So it's going to be pretty interesting if Crawford can beat him in Sean Porter's game. But I think he should use those boxing abilities. A lot of people believing that Crawford don't got his legs anymore. And I don't think he's doing that, showing that he don't got no legs no more. Because people was questioning Rigondeaux legs, and he showed it in the Cashmore fight that he still got legs. So I don't doubt that he don't got legs. Crawford said on the behind the scenes, on the Blood, Sweat, and Tears, that he's not letting the judges get the decision over him. You know what I mean? He's showing that he wants to win by any means, you know what I mean? Because he had bad amateur experiences by outboxing somebody and he didn't get the decision. So he tried to not leave it in the judges' hands. I think people should watch the Blood, Sweat, and Tears. It's a great document series of Sean Porter and Crawford. So they get a lot more knowing in depth about these two fighters. But I'm pretty interested in how Sean Porter is juggling all these conversations with the commentating and his YouTube channel and going around and not staying focused just on only on boxing. Where Crawford, he ain't doing much interviews. All he doing is focus on boxing. So it's a lot going to play out in this fight. So I'm pretty interested in see this. I just hope for a classic. I hope for a war.
So that's all you tell. You said all that to say you hope for a war. You ain't saying what's gonna happen.
Nah, because I want to see a war. That's been what
So you ain't got no prediction.
Like I said, Crawford will be the victor, but I want to see how it gonna play out because
So you just want a big old shebang. That's all you want.
I really want that. Who don't want classic?
No. I'm just saying you ain't. I thought you gonna give me a. I thought you gonna elaborate on anyway, don't worry about it. I got you,
I
Drill.
kind of hinted in a way. I said the people who were supposed to give him that pressure.
I heard you.
The fight.
Yeah. You want that relentless on him. Yeah.
Jeff Horn didn't play out. It was just unanimous. He won every single round till he got the TK stoppage. Felix Diaz, same thing. That pressure didn't come to play in the fight. Now, the greatest thing can happen in this fight is either Crawford knocking out Sean Porter and being the only one to knock out Sean Porter and making it easy. And the next thing is Sean Porter using his relentless style and beating Crawford, punishing Crawford and getting the win. Those are the two great outcomes that can come into fact. But I just don't see any man at welterweight that can beat Crawford. How he's going to play is how they've been training. You know what I mean? Like I just said, like I don't know how focused Sean is because he got a lot of things he's juggling. Sean never had to juggle all those things before. You know what I
Raj,
mean?
you're not lying. You're not lying. Remember in that ESPN fight, he fell asleep.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like he
Hey
might.
man, hold up. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
So I can't give you a prediction, and
No, I got you, bro. I
I
got
don't
you. I
know what
got
they're
you.
doing behind the scenes.
I got you, bro.
Yeah, so they
We
got
finna
practice.
pass. I'm finna let Sensei cook. I'm finna pass the mic, and I'm gonna go ahead and go last. On that note, go ahead. Hold up. Before I do that, let me salute some people in the chat that came in, man. Uh, who we got? Dreezy KO. Salute to you, fan man. What's good with you? Uh, who else we got in here? Chosen 115. What's good? What's good? Um, yeah. So go ahead, Stormy. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. You can go ahead and do your thing, and I'm gonna go after you.
Man, Bud Crawford gonna knock Sean Porter into another dimension. It's something about this kid that is reminiscent of certain fighters that came from different eras prior. He fights because he likes it. And one of the things that he has displayed throughout moving up through the weight classes is that he relishes challenges. He relishes when people talk because he enjoys shutting them up. Bud Crawford was pound for pound for a reason. That title was heaped upon him for a reason. And him coming up through the lower weights to welterweight shows the class that he has. He's a multiple division fighter campaigning now against guys who basically have been at welterweight their career. If he were not as good as he is, all them guys would have been chomping at the bit to get in the ring with him, regardless of what side of the street that he's on. They would have made the fight. It's as simple as that. It's not so much that nobody's afraid or scared or anything like that. But you heard me speak a moment ago when I was talking about Charlo and being at 160 is a lot of these fighters today haven't honed their craft. Bud Crawford is 100% a five-dimensional fighter. There are not a lot of five-dimensional fighters at welterweight right now. There's one other off the top of my head, and he's coming. That's Jaron Boots Ennis. He's the younger, bigger, stronger version of Bud. And the thing about it is, he doesn't have the instinct that Bud has as a fighter because he's proud of his legacy of how he's come up. I'm talking about Boots now. Proud of being raised by his dad and his brothers in the gym and this and that or whatever. Bud Crawford came up very hard, bro. He earned his stripes. He had a mom that wouldn't even tell him she loved him growing up. She paid guys in the neighborhood to beat him up. That's a different type of animal there that you have. And when he gets the chance to have the chains released from him inside that ring, he fights like it. It don't matter how big you are, don't matter how strong you are, don't matter how fast you are. He finds a way to be victorious. There are people saying that, oh, he ain't looking good in the gym and this and that. His job is to look good in the ring on fight night. But let's take a step back to earlier this summer when people were talking about Tyson Fury wasn't looking good in the gym. I made a final deduction about that situation. I said, you know what? I think they put that out there. I think that was not true. But that was all to bring the guard down, to bring your focus down. It's like, well, if these guys are beating them up in the gym, what's D gonna do to them and things like that. And I think they took the bait.
I think sometimes they're mistaken defensive drills for a spar.
I didn't say that when anybody else was talking. Can I finish my point? The thing about this is it's about class at the championship level. Bud Crawford has always proven to be class. Sean Porter has always proven to have brass. Two different things. And at the end of the day, he knows what a victory means, meaning Crawford, in this fight, because of everybody else in the division that didn't decide to take the leap of faith to get in the ring with him. So he's got more to fight for, believe it or not. And if he knocks out Sean Porter, he bests Earl Spence in that department too. And as matter what he says about the Earl Spence fight is behind him and everything, he don't like how Spence played him. He feels like Spence disrespected him. And that's how a champion is supposed to feel. And remember this, people, everybody has totally disregarded him. He's a young man from Nebraska. He's a dark young man from Nebraska. And there's something to be said about your own people showing bias against you because of, like what I said a moment ago when I mentioned the mic drop, privilege and all of that stuff coming into play. You got black folks hating on black folks, man. That's true. Sometimes it comes down to just the complexion and the skin that you in. And when you fight all of your life against that, it makes a difference. You're hardened. When you're in a sport like boxing, when each and every time an outing can be your last, you have to bring your best. I just watched last night Sean Porter and Adrian Broner. If Adrian Broner would just fight and throw his hands, he wins that fight easily because he's talented, more talented than Sean Porter. Bud Crawford ain't Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner dropped him with a left hook late in the fight. Adrian Broner ain't Bud Crawford. Bud will look for the opening and catch him, and Sean gonna be looking at his dad talking about what happened. It's over, son. It's over. That's what's gonna happen. It doesn't matter about his physicality, doesn't matter about his strategy and techniques, because Bud is coming to fight. He ain't coming to box. He ain't coming to win a decision. He gonna let his nuts hang. And in the midst of that happening, Porter's neck gonna hang. I've been telling people since this fight was made, Sean Porter gonna get beaten up, guys. I said when he lost to Earl Spence and he got dropped by that shot late in the fight, Bud might wait till late in the fight to get him because he loses focus. Bud don't lose focus. When he fought Jose Benavidez in the third round of that fight, he threw a right 45 that missed Jose Benavidez by just a couple inches. In that 12th round, he threw that same shot, and that's the shot that got him in trouble. Because why? When Bud fights these guys, rounds that you think he's losing, he's downloading data. Only the guys with the high IQ do that. He threw the shot when the guy was tired because the guy's in the 12th and final round, and he's thinking, well, we at the 12th, let me just, make it through. Bud never stopped looking for that knockout, and he got him. I've seen so many fighters do this. Pernell Whitaker did it against Diabeles Hurtado who was the Cuban fighter who was outboxing him for a number of rounds, dropped Sweet Pea a couple of times and everything, thinking that he was on his way to a victory. In that 12th round, Sweet Pea came out there like they'd never seen him come out there before, and he pounded Hurtado into submission. These are the things when you guys say things like, Cornerman, you say you ain't never seen nobody put pressure on Bud and this and that. Fighting is not pressure to Bud. He loves it. He relishes that. But all he has to do is wait for his moment, and he takes advantage of it, and he capitalizes. That's ring IQ. Not letting the other guy do what he wants to do to you is ring generalship. Porter has no way but to try to fight. But what kind of fight is he going to try to make it? If he try to box Bud, he can't outbox him. If he thinks he's going to go in there and muscle him around, Bud relishes that because he was a great wrestler growing up. Everybody who has fought him in the aftermath, who have been honest about him, said he's a lot stronger than he looks. Anybody who's smart that watches his technique knows that he punches harder than you think. His punches are sharp. I said that punch that Earl dropped Porter with, where just basically his glove glanced the canvas in that 11th round. I said that if that was Bud Crawford's left hand, he would have been out because he throws a different type of punch. His punches are sharp. It's not blunt force trauma like Earl's punches. It's sharp, and you don't see them. Remember, Kell Brook didn't see the punch that he got hit with. It's levels to this thing here. And Sean Porter is a decent fighter, but he's not pound for pound, and he's not a 5-dimensional fighter. That's what I got for you guys on that.
Mark, you want to say something real quick? Because I'm from the cook, so you better say what you're going to say now.
No, I was just agreeing with the brother about the sparring sessions and stuff like that. Sometimes people misunderstand like defensive drills. You know, when a fighter like Crawford and Fury, they would do defensive drills while somebody else is throwing all of the punches and stuff like that. They consider that person getting beat up. But that's the way they develop their IQ, you know? So I was just agreeing with the brother.
Okay.
I was being
all right, so okay. So this is my take, man. And I hate to say this, but I had done said this probably about, I want to say, over a year ago, before they said the fight was even thought about. When everybody kept talking about, when we was all arguing about who Bud was gonna fight, and everybody kept saying Bud need to fight Sean Porter. I had done said a long time ago that Bud will stop Sean Porter. I had done said this. Now it's echoing. But whatever. Okay, let's get to what I really want to say though. The breakdown. All right, so check this out. I never thought, and I hear a lot of people say that Sean Porter's best chance was when Bud first came to welterweight. I totally disagree. I don't even think Sean Porter ever had a chance, to be honest with y'all. I've never seen it. I don't see it now. I just think that this is just a bad recipe for Sean Porter, man. I'm not taking nothing away from Sean Porter. You know that. You know, I understand what you're saying, boy. Where you want to see him get in there and do all the crazy stuff. What he doing? He throwing a lot of punches and he roughing. Like, I don't think he's gonna be able to do all that, bro. Like that. Yeah, he in spots maybe, but I think Bud is way more is stronger than what people perceive him to be. Sean's gonna find that out less than a week. He's gonna find that out the hard way. And Sean, let me tell you another thing about Sean that's gonna kill him in this fight. Is that Sean hand speed ain't the fastest. And on top of that, Sean don't throw hard, straight punches. Sean gets off better with hook. He's a hooker at heart and soul. Like, when have you ever seen Sean lay somebody out or hurt somebody bad with a 1-2, a jab, or just a straight right hand? Can't nobody. I don't even think nobody even tell me they seen that. Now live with somebody like Paul or somebody, but other than that, Sean ain't he don't have good, sharp, crispy, hard, treacherous, straight down the pipe punches. You know, this is my opinion. I think that he throws better hooks, and I don't even think that his hooks, all that great. Depends on when he's not smothering his work. Depends on which where he getting off on those hooks at. Mid range, he that's where he's at his best at. But nevertheless, I just think that Sean just don't have too many options, but to fight that poured away style, whatever you want to call it. He was bragging on the pivots and all that. Showtime pivot Porter. He said he can't nobody pivot like him and do all this and do all that. But I just don't. I don't see him being able to get in there and just implement all that. The whole fight where he gonna get in the inside and turn him and do this and do that. The way Kenny Porter's training him, I just don't see that lasting all night, bro. I don't even. And yeah, Sean may get a few rounds. I'm gonna say Sean may get maybe 3 to 4 rounds. Other than that, I don't see him getting nothing else, man. Sean Porter's gonna get knocked out. I got him getting knocked out. And it's funny that you said the story. Sean gonna be wondering what the hell happened, and Kenny gonna say, "Sean, it's over, son." What you say? He said it's over. It's over, son.
Yep.
It's over.
That's what he gonna tell.
Yeah, that's how it's. That's how it's gonna be, man. I'm telling y'all, man. And
listen, Bud does one thing that's really, really great that a lot of the fighters, including Earl, don't do in the division. You want me to tell you what it is?
Listen.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Bud will punch with a guy.
Yeah.
He will punch with you.
Yep.
That's another lost art in the sport of boxing, because when you punch with a guy, especially a guy who don't relish contact or is expecting to be the boss all the time, you take away an advantage of aggression that he may think he has when you punch with him. That's something that Sean hasn't encountered.
No.
And Bud knows how to step up inside of your punches when they're wide. Sean throws wide punches. You just talked about the hooks he throws. Just like Julius Ndongo, when he was throwing that wild looping stuff, just like the other guy, the Ukrainian kid, I can't think of his name right now. Same thing. He stepped inside of those shots and hit those guys and catch them off guard because they're not used to the incoming. You see? And that's the thing. When a guy is punching with you, Postar, thank you, L Dub. When you punch with a guy who's used to being offensive, what happens is he becomes hesitant. Once he becomes hesitant, he's at your mercy now, because the guy who is usually confident in his offense is now apprehensive in his offense. And once you control him like that, you do what you want to him. But Bud, again, is the type of aggressor that he relishes. If he knows he hurts you, if he knows that he scored against you really good, he'll laugh at you. He'll stick his tongue out at you. He's like, yeah, that's not bravado. That's him getting into his psyched up mode about he getting ready to come after you. The worst thing to happen to Kavaliauskas was that flash knockdown, because just as Kavaliauskas thought he was, had some cooking going, it turned Bud's switch on. Look at what happened after that. Only moments after that, he gets up, he goes after Kavaliauskas, and next thing you know, Kavaliauskas is on the canvas. But the look in Kavaliauskas' eyes when he got up as the ref was counting was a picture worth 1,000 words. because he looked over across at Bud, who was over there pounding his gloves together like ready for the ref to finish the count. And he's saying to himself pretty much, oh, damn, I done woke this sleeping giant up. And just moments later, he was stopped. I'm telling you, man, you have to understand when you got a fighter who's coming from a different point of view and perspective. And a lot of these guys don't have that. They don't have it. And that's not being disrespectful to them. It's look at what they do. Look at how they train. Look at how they fight. Look at who they fight. You could talk about Sean Porter's resume at welterweight. Look at who he's fought. And because he hasn't fought them yet, meaning Bud, guys like Thurman and Earl Spence, Danny Garcia, would just take them off the table. But everybody else in Sean Porter's past, Bud knocks out too. Knocks him out. There are guys that Sean fought that he didn't knock out. But I bet you Bud knocks them all out. He already knocked out Kell Brook, didn't he? You think Bud would knock out Paulie Malignaggi? Of course he would. Now, when you start to get to the other level with Earl, Thurman, and Danny Garcia, the difference in those fights is how much they want to engage. Because he don't mind engaging. And people think he's small. He a little guy and all of this. He ain't little. The man got the reach of a heavyweight. And he fights and he punches. All of this stuff, man, will come to fruition. And when he beats Sean Porter, people going to be upset because now they're going to either have to give him credit or they're going to make excuses. And he knows this already too. So he might as well go ahead and knock his ass out to really make you mad at him.
Yep. And but the thing is also, man, no Sean, like I don't understand how people believe in Sean Porter at this point, because Sean Porter ain't knocked nobody out. When the last time he knocked anybody out? And they think he's just gonna outwork Bud to a decision. Bro, let me tell y'all something, man. If you don't believe that Bud is a hard puncher, just take a real close look at that Kell Brook fight. Right when the ref stepped in and waved the fight off, when Kell Brook was trying to get his eye together, whatever the hell he was trying to do, get his cheekbone together. If you seen the way Bud was punching that dude in the chest and all that shit, bro, Sean ain't gonna be able to stand up under that all night, bro. He's not gonna be able to stand up under that all night. No, I want to see Kenny Porter with a lime green towel on Saturday night. That way we can all see that fluorescent green towel hit the canvas when he throw that towel in the air. You understand what I'm saying? So we can know the fight is over. I don't want to see no white towel. I want to see a lime green towel. That way everybody can see it on fight night. You understand what I'm saying? Because Sean Porter's going down. And all these people that was campaigning for this fight, when I told y'all what was going to happen anyway, everybody was campaigning because, see, all this was, it was just to keep Sean Porter, to keep Bud away from Earl Spence. That's all it was.
Yeah,
that's all it was. Nobody cared about
you
Sean
know what
Porter.
That's like, Trap. How
they was talking about his suits and ties.
How they was sticking Dillian White in front of Joshua for D when D was looking to fight AJ.
Exactly.
That's what they were doing.
They didn't care. You know, they was talking about Sean Porter. His daddy run his life. They was talking about how he wears suits and ties and, you know, the whole nine. He's a church boy. And all of a sudden, when it was convenient for them to put a barrier in the way for Earl, now all of a sudden Sean Porter's he's the homie. Like, come on, man. But we gonna show y'all what happened to Pawns on Saturday night on the chessboard. We're gonna show you Pawns only move one space at a time. You know what I mean? And they can only move one direction. So we're gonna show y'all what's gonna happen Saturday night when we do the Pawns. But as far as that fight though, man, that's pretty much what I got on that though, man. I got Bud getting Sean up out of there, man. Stoppage, knockout, whatever, however it is gonna be. It's gonna be a KO. That's what it's gonna be, man. And but it's gonna be an interesting fight. I don't just think that Bud gonna initially just go in and just dirty dog Sean. I'm not saying it's gonna be like that, but I think he is gonna be prepared for Sean to come start early.
Yeah, it's gonna be as soon as he gather enough data to make sure that he gets what he wants off.
Yeah, and see, Sean is not that damn creative. Sean only got two things. He jump in and he gonna do the Tecmo Bowl movement when he come in, he doing the head button and he throwing hooks and uppercuts and all that old. He biting, he scratching, he doing all that old good stuff because he gonna need to do all that. And then what he do is he go around, he do the little Cleveland shuffle. When he do all those, he try to flick his little jab and try to look good. He ain't doing a fuck thing when he doing all that shit. He just trying to break up the monotony a little bit and trying to get somebody thinking about something else. But he really ain't doing that. So that's all Sean really got. After that, after Bud collect that, Sean is done. Let me tell you another thing while it's fresh in my brain. Bud, don't be surprised if Bud hurt Sean to the body in this fight. Don't be surprised.
Trap, I was just about to say, don't be surprised if a body shot puts Porter on the canvas too.
I'm trying to tell you, do not be surprised. Because Sean Porter not gonna like what he get when he start getting hit to the body. If he think he want to play inside, when he start getting them sharp shots to the inside, bro, he might have to take a seat. And we'll see. But Sean does leaps and lunge in and do all that stuff like that, man. And Bud angle punching. He's able to punch at all these different angles. Moving that. Fighting out the back foot, whatever. Just however the situation occurs, where hands get to flying and all that, he's able to get off. That's a dangerous quality that he has that a lot of people overlook. When it get into a scrap, and Stormy pretty much alluded to it, it's pretty much punching with you. But he's able to punch with you no matter which direction or which angle the fight is going. Y'all could be down there going to the ground together. He's still gonna be punching your ass. So that's pretty much all I got on that, man. Anybody got anything else before we get ready to lock the show down? Lock both the doors on the trap house.
Nah, I can't think of anything.
What's up with you, Corner, man? You up there in that corner? What's up, Corner? You got anything you want to cook on real quick before we both the doors on the trap house?
Not really. Nah, not really at all.
Stormy, you got anything?
No, I think I talk too much. So, but
yeah, man.
Glad to see you out here, bro. Just glad to see you.
Yeah, man, and I'm not sure if I'm thinking about going live Saturday, man. I kind of just want to just watch the fight, but I think I might go live Saturday. I'm not sure. I'll do. I'll let y'all know my breakdown prediction, my prediction video. No, matter of fact, I'm not doing no prediction video. I done pretty much did it right here. That's it. Cause I ain't gonna squeeze no time in to do it, but I'll let y'all know in the what you call that thing on the post thing on the feed. What you call that, Stormy, on the that you
post
post
fight
on?
show?
No, when you got it on the feed where you can see where people going live with what it's called?
The news feed.
Yeah. When you pre-post it and all that junk, when you let your audience know. Yeah, I'll let y'all know on that though, man. If I do go live, but other than that, though, man, everybody go ahead and introduce, give us an outro. Let everybody know how they can find you, how they follow you, etc. And so we can get ready to close this thing out. And go ahead and start with you, Mark. You can go ahead and start that up.
Well, it was a good show, brethren. And I'm glad to be on the show with you guys. We discussed a lot of boxing just now. So, I'm glad for the show. It's back on again since we haven't been on for a minute. I don't have any YouTube channel or anything like that. I mostly do news on Facebook and stuff like that in boxing groups.
Got you. So basically, the only way you're gonna really find Mark is on Facebook, boxing groups, or you catch him on my channel, pretty much.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go ahead and pass it on to the Cornerman Radio. Barzini, you go ahead and close us out. Give us a closing, man.
Man, just salute to everybody on this panel today. I'm glad to talk boxing. It's my favorite subject to talk about. I can talk about this shit all day, but I enjoyed the show. It's good to meet Stormy B, man, for the first time. And Mark, it's always a pleasure talking boxing with you. And salute Trap House Boxing, you know what I mean? I just want you back on your bullshit, man. People don't know how talented Trap House is. I wish he'd be like how he is on the daily basis and be on it on like YouTube. He never show his true character on YouTube, but hopefully he bring it out. But I can't wait. Looking forward to the next panel when Trap House do this again. You already know.
No doubt, no doubt. And y'all know how to find Barzini, man, the Corner Radio, man. So y'all go ahead and subscribe to him, man, and support his channel. And next I got the Sensei, man. Stormy B, man, aka the Sensei. Let them know how they can find you, brother, man. And give us your closing, man.
Look here, man. Thanks for allowing me on to share your platform with you this evening. Salute to the other two brothers out here, Corner Man and Mark. I appreciate being on here with you guys as well. Always a pleasure to talk the sport of boxing, man. Everybody can find me right here on YouTube. I just posted my link to the channel in the chat there, but Stormy B, man, is the channel, man, and that's where it's going down. And once again, I'll say that my man Trap House, look, he's the one that nicknamed me the Sensei. So it's like when he first did it, I was like, where the hell that come from, But it was with respect and love, for you know what I bring when we talk about the sport of boxing. Also, the Kung Fu film joints. He knows that as well. But hey, man, it's always a pleasure to chop it up with you. And when I see that you live, I'll pop in your chat. I'll come on the panel if you invite me, because as Cornerman was saying, you got a lot of talent, man. You got a lot to offer, So it's nothing but love and respect coming from me to what you do out here, man. And it's always a pleasure. So thanks for having me, and we'll look forward to it again.
No doubt, appreciate that, man. And before I send my closing, man, I want to go back through the chat and make sure I cover and call everybody who came in here. I know I seen my man L Dub in here. There you go, L Dub. Salute to you, man. If you still in here, man, salute to you. I tried to get a hold to you, man, but we got caught up in the storm, talking about this and talking about that. But yeah, man, it was a great show. I so appreciate everybody that came in, man. The panel, the chat, much love to everybody, man. Great show. Looking forward to having you brothers on again. Whoever else want to come on, man. I'm gonna put the links in there again. From time to time. I can't promise y'all every show, but I'm gonna put the links in there. So be prepared for the smoke. If you want to deliver smoke, if you want to receive the smoke, however it is, spit your piece. However you want to do it, man. It's gonna be there. But I sure appreciate everybody for coming. Loaning their ear, man. And like I said, I'll let y'all know what I'll be in Saturday for the fight. And salute to everybody. Much love. And I'll holler at y'all, man. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.